Good morning. Hey everyone, it's Catherine getting set up for our 10 a.m. at-home functional fitness workout. We're going to start in just less than a minute. So I hope you are having a good morning so far. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. So we're going to do a Wednesday weight workout. So you'll want to have your dumbbells or kettlebells nearby, maybe your bottles of water, cans of soup, whatever you have handy. You might use the cuffed weights, maybe you have a resistance band, you can incorporate that. So good morning, Eddie, thanks for joining me. Hey Trudy. So again, we're going to start in just a few moments, a little warm up, and then we'll get underway with our weights. Hey there, no worries. Yep, you definitely want to have on some good footwear. So especially when you're working with weights, we do not want to accidentally drop a weight on the foot. So go ahead and put on some closed-toed, preferably closed-heeled shoes. And we're going to start either seated or standing with just some rhythmic movements to get the body moving. So we're going to take some big shoulder rolls up, back, and down. And then go ahead and widen your feet, and we're going to shift the weight, tap the toes, and punch the arm across the body. So even if you're seated, you can do this movement, shift and tap, and punch across the chest. Now we're going to change up the hand position. Instead of using a fist, you want to spread your hand out wide, or spread the fingers out wide and push across. And see if you can lift up your heel so you really rotate through the hip. Now we're going to take this hand press down to the floor, down to the floor. So here you can straighten your back leg and bend your front leg. Couple more. Last two and last one. All right, we're going to do a heel tap in front, toe tap, and back. So if you want to do this seated, just shift over to the edge or the front of your couch, heel tap front, toe tap back. So the height of your chair makes a difference. I'm going to do it standing, heel tap and toe tap. So the arms, I find if you move them, that helps with your balance. Heel tap and toe tap. Chest is lifted. From here, instead of tapping, we'll keep that option one. We're going to do a front kick and a back kick, or really a push through the back foot. So front kick and back kick. Option one, heel tap front, toe tap back. Of course, you could do that seated. Otherwise, front kick and back kick. One more to the front, last one to the back. March it out, roll it out, maybe crisscross the arms a few times. And let's try that on the other side. So we're going to stand on the other leg. I'm going to use my right leg as my base of support, and my left heel taps front, left toes tap back. So check your posture. Shoulders are down and back. It would be very easy for us to round forward. We don't want to do that. So lift up, heel front, toe back. Our next option is a front kick and a back kick, or you can think of it as a push back. Heel tap or front kick, toe tap or back push. And you'll notice the difference right away in your balance. So for me, I feel less steady on my right leg. 4 more, 3 more, last 2, and last 1. Good, march it out, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. All right, is anyone else having any trouble hearing or seeing what's going on? Check your volume. I know some of you have had some audio issues. Just check that your sound button is turned all the way up. And I'll try to be very visual in case you can't hear me or can't hear me as well. So what we're going to do next, hands on the hips, take the feet wide. You're going to push your hips to one side and then push over to the other side. So this would be one option. Another option is to start and circle the hips one way, and you want to exaggerate the circle, and then you're going to reverse the direction. So you can adjust your foot position if you need to. So it's a wider stance, hands rest to the hips, and you're going to circle. See if you can keep the back flat. So instead of rounding the back, imagine that dowel on your back. Last one. Good. March and roll it out, fingertips onto your shoulders. We're going to do egg beater arms. So with your elbows, draw circles outside the body. Nice full breath, and then reverse the direction of the circles. Take it around the other way. All right. Okay, so next up we're going to move into our weights, our strength workout. So again, whatever weight you have handy, I'm going to do use a kettlebell, and we're going to focus on one side at a time. So either sitting back on the couch with some pillows propped up, or coming down to the floor. You could do these on a stability ball or a foam roller. I'm going to use a single kettlebell. And again, if you want support for your head and neck or low back, grab a throw pillow to have nearby. So we're going to take one weight, or two light weights if you can hold them, into one hand. So I'm going to use the kettlebell in my right hand, and we're going to do a single-sided chest press. So you're going to start with your arm bent, and you're going to straighten the arm up to the sky. So arm bends and arm extends. Now if you want to make this more challenging, you could increase your weight. You could lift up one or both feet to a tabletop position. You could also rest your legs on a chair or a couch. And check in with the shoulder. If you find that the shoulder feels better with the arm closer in, that's fine. You might try taking the elbow out wider, or even a rotation so your palm turns in at the top. If you're holding a kettlebell and you want to make it more challenging, you can hold it so the bottom of the bell points up to the sky. Few more. Pull the belly muscles in. Even though we are reclined, we're still active in our core body. How about 3 more? 2, and last one. Good. And then set it down. We're going to do the other side, but take a moment to stretch out the hand, wiggle out the fingers, circle around the wrist, and let's try it on the other side. So we'll safely move the weight to your other hand. Shoulders are down and pressing back, and we'll extend the weight up and down. So you've got the weight secured in your other hand. I'm doing my left hand. Remember the option to lift up one or both feet and hold them up. That's going to be more challenge for the abdominals and the low back. You could also rest your legs up on the couch, and then check in with your arm position. So if you want to rotate the palm inward and then back down, if you want to start with the arm close, extend. So you choose, and right away you might notice the difference in your strength on this other side. Again, if you're using a kettlebell or even a dumbbell and you want to hold it in one end, just make sure you're not going to drop it. Check in with your breathing. Exhale on the exertion, inhale on the release. How about 5 more? 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Okay, safely set the weight down, come to your side, and then press up. Hopefully you are still with me. You can hear and see okay what's going on. Stretch out the hand, especially that hand that was just holding the weight. grab some water or bubble water. And next we're going to move to a lower body strengthening exercise. The squat. You could also do a sit to stand, option to use weight. And again, we're going to focus kind of on one side and then the other side. So you can use the same weight and you can either hold it up by your shoulder or you can hold it down by your side. So one option is to sit and stand. Now our goal is to keep the shoulders level and the hips level, so we do not want to just drift off to one side. A sit to stand. You could bring the weight up and hold it at your shoulder, depending on how that works for you. And then another option would be to do an air squat or an air sit to stand, so you don't have to tap down. So working our full body strength, but kind of honing in the lower body, but also the posture and the core strength to activate these side body muscles, the obliques, so we don't just roll over to one side. Let's do a few more and then we're going to switch to the other side. All right, when you're ready, either switch hands. If you want to do this without a weight, that's fine. You could bring the weight up to your shoulder. Check in with your feet. You want to press down equally through both feet, the heel of the foot, the ball of the big toe, and the ball of the little toe. A few more. So we're keeping the chest lifted and the back in that neutral spinal alignment. How about 4 more? 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. And the reason it's beneficial to practice some of these movements one-sided is that it can be a more functional translation to our everyday life. So if you're carrying groceries and you have a heavy bag in this hand and your keys in the other hand, you want to use good form. So think of that, think of this movement when you are doing something like that in your everyday life. So squatting down, picking something up. Okay, our next movement is the one arm bent over row. So seated or standing, shoulders roll back. You're going to take the weight to one hand. You're going to pull back towards the hip and extend the arm, stopping before the elbow locks and stopping before the shoulder rolls forward. So if you want to do it standing, you can stagger your feet. That can help with more back support. I'm going to start with my left foot in front, my left hand on my left thigh, the weight in my right hand, and pull the weight towards my right hip. Now if you need more challenge and you can keep your excellent form, you might lift your back heel or lift your back foot. So the main strengthening focus we have here is for the muscles in our back. So you're welcome to build on this movement as long as you keep the focus primarily in the strength for the back. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. How about 4 more? 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's come up and switch to the other side. I don't know if you can see one of our little guys back there. He's doing his best to stay in the safety zone there, not creeping forward, although he does try. So other side, check out your form and begin that one arm bent over row. So if you'd rather do this seated, see if you can sit to one edge or to the front of your couch. This chair's a little low. And you can still get the benefit of the movement doing it seated. A main benefit for doing these movements standing is for our bone density and our balance. So shoulders are down and back, belly muscles pull in, squeezing the muscles that wrap around the side and the shoulder blade. 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Set it down, take a moment, loosen it up, roll it out, Crisscross the arms, grab some water. If you're still with me, excuse me, give me a wave or a thumbs up. Hopefully you were able to follow along even if the audio is acting up as it sometimes does. Okay, our next movement we're going to do for the lower body is a single leg hinge. So the hinge is where we separate the feet, we keep the legs fairly straight, we push the hips back, and then we rise tall. Now you could do this against the wall, standing 1 foot length in front of the wall, so when you hinge, your tail pushes back and touches the wall. Other option is to alternate one leg lifting behind you. So when you hinge, you're going to lift one leg back and set it down, and then the other leg back and set it down. We're going to add a weight or a weight option, and if you're being gentle with your low back today, you may go with a lighter weight. So what we're going to do is stand with the weight in front of us, feet are hip to shoulder width distance. We're going to hinge forward, lift up one heel or 1 foot and pick up the weight, and then just reverse it. Set it down and come up. Modification, just stagger your feet, bend your legs a little bit, lift up your back heel, push the hips back, and then come up. Another option would be to keep the weight in your hand the whole time. So keep going with that single leg hinge. The focus here more into the back side of the body. So whatever leg is in front or standing, that's the leg that does the squeezing in the back side. So really tighten the muscles in your tail. How about 2 more? Shoulders down and back. Belly muscles zipped up. Last one. Nice job. March it out. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. I really felt that in the back of my left leg and my hamstring. So first thing first is we want to use good form. So option to keep your feet hip to shoulder width and just do a double leg hinge. Option to stagger your feet, bend your legs, really lift up your tail feathers. So we do not want to round the back here. We want to keep it flat. Or we could lift the back heel and lift the back leg. I find that one's more challenging to my balance, and today I want to keep the focus in my strength. So what we'll do is use the other hand to hinge forward, reach for the weight if you can safely pick it up and pull, and then reverse the movement and set it down. Imagine that dowel on your back. Another option, keep the weight in your hand the whole time. So tail presses back, and then imagine your head pressing back onto that dowel. If you want more challenge, you could use a heavier weight. So you're going to hinge forward and rise tall. So your front leg, your base of support, that's the working leg. So by working, I mean that's the leg that's doing the squeezing, really tightening the muscles in that leg. Few more. How about 3 more? Inhale, hinge. Exhale, squeeze and rise tall. 2 more. And last one. All right. Go ahead and set that down. Let's do a little active stretch. We're going to lift the knees up like you were doing a high knee march. If you want to do this seated, that's fine. Take your feet wide and do a curl back. You can rest the hands or reach and pull the hands. And then we'll take a heel tap in front. Heel tap in front. And now a toe tap in back. So stretch the leg back, a nice stretch for the hip flexors. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, our next movement, we're going to do the pullover with the option to use one or both hands. So I'll demonstrate both. Okay, so Joe, yours is freezing up. I don't know if anyone else is having issues with it freezing up. Hopefully it is just a brief glitch and then you'll jump back on. So I'm going to keep going. It looks okay on my end. You might have to hop off and then hop back in. Okay, so it sounds like a few of you are freezing up. You might try you know, getting off Facebook, maybe clearing it out and then coming back on if you want to try that. See if that makes a difference. Okay, but I'm going to keep going just for the sake of time. Worst case scenario, this will be saved and you could try it later on today or this evening when Samantha sends the link. So the next movement is the pullover. Option to lean back on the couch or against the couch. Option to come onto your back. You could use a foam roller or a stability ball. Option 1 is to use one weight that's a little bit lighter. And what you're going to do is extend the arm with the weight secured in your hand. You're going to reach overhead and you're going to pull over the chest. So it's a one arm pull over. Reach and pull. Now when you pull, we just want to go over the chest. You do not have to go all the way down to your thigh. So inhale, stretch, and exhale, pull. Resist the urge for the shoulder to hunch up into the ear. Another option would be the double arm pullover. Again, our focus today is more single-sided, but if you rather, you could hold the weight securely in both hands, extend it overhead, and then pull over the chest. So I'm going to stick with my single arm pullover, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, so Eddie, yours is coming through all right. Good, thank you for that feedback. So let's continue with the pullover. Just like we did in our chest press, if you want, you can have your feet down, or you can lift the legs or prop them up on the chair. So we pull and extend. Let's do 2 more, then we're going to switch to the other arm. So depending on how your back is feeling, you may want to keep the legs down. So with your other arm extended, shoulder out of the ear, you're going to reach the weight overhead and then pull over the chest and pause. Reach and pull. So legs up to you. Inhale and exhale. Again, if you're holding a heavy weight in both hands, the movement is the same. Your hand position is a little bit more narrow, so you might feel more stretch or challenge into your shoulders. Three more. Just pause over the chest. 2. And last one. Good. And release it. So roll to one side. Press yourself up. Up next, we're going to do the split stance squat or lunge with or without weight. Option to add the bicep curl. So we're going to step one foot in front, the other foot in back. Option to use the front edge of your couch or chair to have some more support, so you'll come up and down. Now you choose how far back your foot is placed. So depending on how your knees and your hips are feeling, you might need to make an adjustment. So that would be one option. Another option would be to take a weight in the same side as the leg that's in back. So I have my left foot in front, my right foot in back, shoulders roll back, and with a weight in my right hand, because that's the side that I have back, I'm going to curl the arm and then straighten the arm. So arms and legs bend, arms and legs extend. For more challenge, you could secure 2 lighter weights in one hand or grab one heavier weight, so the kettlebell or the dumbbell. If you have a kettlebell, you can use a loose grip on the handle so that when you bend the arm, the bottom of the kettlebell stays down to the floor. Another option is to tighten your grip on the kettlebell so that when you bend the arm, the bottom of the kettlebell goes up to the sky. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. All right, march it out. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So whatever foot was in front now moves to the back. If you want something nearby to steady yourself with, please have that handy. Optional to have a weight in the hand of the same side leg that's in back. So when you bend both legs, you're going to bend the arm. For me, it's my left arm because my left leg is in back. But even if you want to do this without weight, still beneficial to practice that movement. So one-sided arm curl. If you need more weight, oops, go ahead and grab a heavier weight, and then depending on what weight you're using, you can adjust your grip position. 3 more. 3, 2, our last one here. Woo. And release it. Okay. Stretch out the hands, spread out the fingers, roll out the shoulders. Take a little march. And we're going to reach up and across, hand to opposite leg. Make sure the belly muscles are pulled in. And to modify, certainly you could do this seated. You could reach up higher on the leg. Or for more challenge, come to standing and reach out further on your leg. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Next movement, overhead press, one-sided. Option to sit, take a weight or a weight substitute up to your shoulder and press overhead. Another option would be to do this standing, and you want to keep your shoulders level. So when you press, be careful you're not doing this. We do not want that. We want to keep the shoulders level as you press. So again, you could do this standing. You could do this standing on one foot by lifting up the other heel or the other foot. And if you find that you want the palm to face forward or inward, that's fine. You might choose a combination where it rotates. Check your posture. Is the breastbone lifting? One more. Good, and now let's take the weight to the other side. So seated or standing, you're going to bring the weight up to your shoulder, keep your shoulders level, and press overhead. Sometimes when we're doing this pressing, I'll notice that people are kind of lifting up their heel to help get the weight up. So check in, shoulders are level, hips are level. If you want to pick up a heel or a foot, that's fine, but that purpose is more for balance challenge, not so much cheating or assisting the overhead press. And can you tell a difference on this side with the overhead press? 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, nice job. Let's take a moment, check in with the group. We're coming into the last stretch of our workout. If you're still with me, give me a wave or a thumbs up if you can. Grab some water. Up next, we're going to do the tricep kickback. And there is a method to the madness as far as the order that we're doing these exercises. So we're doing the larger muscles, working our way down to the medium-sized and then the smaller muscles for a reason. So those smaller muscles can act as stabilizers for the larger muscles. And so we want to keep the larger muscles fresh first and then work our way down. Okay, still freezing up. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so it might be Spectrum, it might be the internet provider. My apologies for the hassle, but again, Samantha will email the link this evening if you wanted to do it later tonight or tomorrow. So our tricep kickback, seated or standing, a weight or a weight substitute in one hand, And similar to that bent over row that we were doing, we're going to have a staggered foot position. So even if you want to do this seated, you're going to bring the upper arm up and glue it to the side of your torso. So the lower arm is going to move from the shoulder back, and then you're going to reverse it. So this movement can be very easy to do incorrectly. So imagine a dowel on your back, your upper arm is glued to the torso, and all you're doing is straightening the arm back, squeezing, and then reversing. So what we do not want to do is this. That is not the movement. Shoulders back, tuck the elbow, squeeze it back, control it in. So your palm faces in to your body. Even if you want to do this without weight, it is beneficial. Keep going. Okay, so some of y'all might have a different internet provider, and maybe that is making the difference. So squeeze and then control it in. Really squeeze the back of your upper arm when your arm is straight and control it in. 3 more. Belly muscles pull in. 2. And last one. All right, let's take it to the other side. To modify this movement, again, you could do it seated, you could do it without weight, and instead of hinging forward a little bit further, you could stay up taller. So we're going to glue the upper arm to the torso, bring the weight or your thumb to the shoulder, extend the arm back, and bend it in. So arm extends and bends. Really squeeze the back of the upper arm, control it in, pause, squeeze it back, pause, and return. Now the other hand, it can be free or it can rest onto your thigh or your hip. If you're doing it seated, please make sure you're pulling the shoulder blades back, down, and together. Imagine you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades. How about 3 more? Squeeze, 2 more, and last one. All right. Go ahead and set the weight down, grab some water. Take a moment, circle out the wrists, open and close the hands, spread the fingers, imagine playing the piano, fingers and thumbs, really good movement to help with the small joints in our hands, especially if you're prone to any arthritis or cramping in the hands. All right, our next movement, standing or kneeling. So standing, you can have your hands on the couch or the chair, or kneeling, knees under your hips. We're going to extend one leg back behind us as straight as you can get it. You're going to let the toes tap down to the floor, pull the belly muscles up, and then lift the legs. You're going to tap and lift. If you're standing, it's the same movement. You're going to extend the leg, tap, and lift. Now in this movement, it would be very easy for us to let the torso or the abdominals kind of round or bow forward. So please make sure you're pulling the belly muscles in and up. And so if you need another modification, you could bend your legs. So let the knee tap down and then lift up. But this is a great strengthener for the lower back, the muscles that attach to the lower spine. 4 more, 3 more, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower down, push your hips back, or if you're standing, just round your back, separate your shoulder blades, and then we'll come on up to the other side. If you need a modification for your wrists, you could do this on your forearms. You're just going to start down lower and closer to the floor. So knees are under your hips, extend your other leg, so your left leg, toes down, lift and lower. It's a controlled lift. You want to squeeze the muscles at the top of the movement. So we're not just flinging the leg up behind us. Squeeze and lower. Again, straight arms are an option, or to do this standing. 5 more, 4, kneecap faces down to the floor, 2, and 1. Good. Pull the leg in, round the back, or push your hips back to your heels. Separate the shoulder blades. And then come on up and let's come on to our back. So if you were able to come down onto the floor or to the mat, take a moment, come on down. If you need a pillow under your head and neck, feel free to grab one on your way down. So shoulders come out of the ears, legs are bent, feet on the floor, ankles and knees in the same line. Hands down by your hips. You're going to push both feet down into the floor, lift the hips up into a bridge and lower. So this would be option one. Option two, you're going to lift your hips, stay lifted, and march. You're going to pick up one foot, set it down to a pane of glass, pick up the other foot, and set it down. Another variation would be to flip your palms face up. And when we do that, now the shoulders roll back and rest in their socket. So palms down for more support, or palms up for more challenge and benefit to the posture. Bridge or the bridge to march. If you're doing the marching bridge, check your hips. Are they still lifted up high? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to come all the way down and take a nice full body stretch. So reach the arms overhead, take the legs long below. Imagine you were being pulled by your wrists and then pulled by your ankles. From here, bend your left leg and keep your right leg stretched out to the floor. Take your right hand and press it off to the right side. Reach your left arm straight up to the sky for the half get up. So you want to keep your hand reaching up to the sky, lift, and you can roll onto the right arm and then come back down. Lift, roll. You could also press down with your right hand. For more challenge, you could hold a weight. Just make sure you have a good grip on the weight. So our half get up, keeping the arm extended, keeping the weight or the hands pointing up to the sky. For more challenge, see if you can do that without using so much of the right arm for assistance. One more, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So from here, bend your right leg, straighten your left leg. Right arm to the sky, left arm presses down to the floor. The half get up. So now, when we curl ourselves up, we're leaning over to the left arm, or even pressing into the left hand. For more challenge, see if you can just barely use your left hand pushing into the floor. One more, and then we're going to do a second set and mix it up a little bit. So flip-flop your legs. Bend your left leg, straighten your right leg. Take your right arm to the sky and keep your left arm off to the side. So now we have kind of more cross-body get up. Same movement though. For more challenge, barely push into that left hand. 2 more. And last one. Good, let's come down. Last one we're going to do, flip-flop your legs. Straighten your left leg, bend your right leg. Reach your left arm to the sky, press your right hand off to the side, and we'll practice our half get up. So roll to your right side and push down into your elbow, your forearm, and your hand as much as you need to. For more challenge, see if you can come up a little bit taller, or just barely use the right hand to bring yourself up. 2 more. Definitely feeling these. And last one. All the way down, full body stretch. From here, fold one leg into the body, give your leg a little hug. Full body stretch, hug the other leg into the body. And then let's add both knees and just kind of rock side to side. And then shift to one side. Press yourself up to a seated position. You can stay on the floor or a seated position up on your couch or chair. And we're going to do a few stretches for the muscles that we worked today. So roll the shoulders, reach underneath your tail, lift the gluteal muscles, extend one leg and hinge forward. So I'm going to extend my right leg, hands to the hips or thighs, hinge forward. If you are feeling really tight, please back out of the stretch and then hinge forward again. Thank you. We're doing so good. One more, hinge and release. Take that same leg and step it back. So if you want, you can do this standing. Curl the toes under, tuck the tail under. Now we're stretching the hip flexors. Roll the shoulders back. Again, I'm using my right leg and back. I'm going to take my right arm across the chest. Use my left hand to give it a little pull in. Shoulders unhunch. And release it. Take a seat, crossing right ankle over left ankle or right ankle over left knee. Shoulders roll back. Take your right hand, pat yourself on the back. With your left hand, gently press back, pull back, or reach back. And now we've added a tricep stretch with our gluteal stretch. Option to hinge forward if you need more stretch. You may not. You may just want to stay tall and breathe, keeping the arm close to the head. And release it. Roll it out. Let's switch to the other side. So check that your tail is out of the way. You want to lift and pull it back. Extend the other leg. So for me, it's my left leg. Heel down. I'm going to hinge forward. Hands to hips or thighs. If you're really tight, you may need to back out of the stretch and then come into the stretch again. Use the breath. Be careful you're not holding the breath. Few more. Good, and last one here. And then we're going to come up, take that leg, step it back. Curl the toes under, roll the shoulders back. So you could do this one seated or standing, and take the arm across the chest. So now we're getting a shoulder stretch with our hip flexor stretch. We're combining our flexibility movements. And release your back leg, cross it over the opposite ankle or the opposite knee. Roll the shoulders back, take the left arm, pat yourself on the back, and then add a press back or a pull back. So birthdays this week. I think Linda Burke, your birthday was Monday. And Diane, happy birthday to you. I think we've got another birthday on Friday for Sir Tyler. So nice full breath and release. Roll it out. Just kind of shift the legs side to side. Sweep the arms up, turn the palms, pull down the side walls. One more big shoulder roll, up, back, and down. Give yourself a hand. Excellent job, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, my name's Catherine with the Aging and Wellness Institute. Hopefully the link later will be clear and not frozen. My apologies for that. I know it's frustrating. But enjoy the rest of your day. Sarah's going to do her yoga, and then this evening is the AWI virtual game night. So if you want to participate, I know Samantha has information on the Facebook page, or you can reach out to her. So everybody have a great rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.